back the White House. Joining me now is Sean Spicer, Communications Director for the Republican National Committee, Dana Lash, who is a talk radio host and Tea Party activist, and Matt Welch, who's editor-in-chief of Reason, and he's also author of the book, The Declaration of Independence, How Libertarianism Politics Can Fix What's Wrong with America. Great to have all of you guys here today. And Sean, I know you're Sean Spicer. I know that anyway. But let me start with you. Republicans are fighting right now, particularly in the House and Senate, over whether or not to defund Obamacare, even if it means shutting down significant portions of the government. Good idea? Bad idea?
I think in general it's a good idea. Our party is united as far as getting rid of Obamacare. We recognize the fact that more Americans are losing their health care, costs are going up, and the problems continue with the implementation of Obama. What I think we have a robust difference on is the tactic on how to make that happen. Some people believe that we can defund it through the continuing resolution process. Some people believe that you're not able to do that because of the way that the funding is structured in terms of mandatory spending. I think if we can get resolution that it can be done, I think most Republicans agree that we should defund it. But there's a healthy debate as to what is the most effective way to do it. And that's where the breakdown occurs. Everyone wants to get to the same place. It's just how to get there.
Dana, a lot of the Tea Party people have sort of drawn a line in the sand and said if they don't vote to defund and even tie it to whether it's debt ceiling or the budget itself, then they're rhinos. Is that fair?
Well, you're going to find a lot of varied opinion within the grassroots movement, but generally, people want to see the Republicans take some sort of stand on it. The general view is that, well, if they're not going to stand to defund it when the time comes to repeal it, if that time ever comes, how will they? Well, they definitely won't stand to repeal it then. And so there's this. I think there's this lingering general distrust that the grassroots movement has. No offense, Sean. That the grassroots movement has with the Republican Party on this, because there's a lot of things that they feel that they've kind of compromised on before. And whenever it comes the discussion of compromise in Washington, D.C., it's always, it seems, Republicans who have to give up the most. Democrats have to give up the least. So I think they're trying to fight that.
Is that because the Republicans only have one half of the House? I mean, they've got the House, but they don't have the Senate. They don't have the White House. I mean, the fact is, you know, you got to own all the moving parts if you want to call the shots, right?
Elections have consequences, and that's why when I hear some individuals, and they do, I mean, we had 3 million Republicans that just didn't go out and vote this election. I mean, we lost swing states by just a couple of 100,000 votes. Those were votes that we could have gotten. We could have won those states. So yeah, elections do have consequences. We don't control the Senate, so we can't sit here and demand that we're going to have a repeal, because there's no way we're ever going to get Harry Reid to go along with anything like that.
So Matt, do you feel like the Republicans ought to have a showdown here and you know, sort of their own version of the OK Corral?
Well, as the non-Republican at the table, you know, I think the problem is you can't defund Obamacare. You can't. You can make a fight out over it, but you can't. And if you get to a position where you're going to, it looks like that Republicans or a group of Republicans are going to shut down or threaten to shut down the government, they're going to lose a public relations battle. That's just the math. The media will hammer them to death. The polling isn't good on this right now. I think what you'll see is a move towards delaying. That's what Grover Norquist is talking about right now. Hey, since Obama is already just sort of saying, let's delay that part and that part and that part of Obamacare. Let's delay everything for about 1 year to allow you to build a politics towards it and to kind of get to a position where if you win the next election, you'll have something to talk about without going to this precipice of shutting down government.
And I don't know that a lot of people would be opposed entirely to that sort, because it seems like an Overton window kind of approach to me. Let's propose, you know, just burning it down, so to speak, you know, not literally. And then if we can't get that, what best tactic helps us to at least move the ball a little bit further down the field to our advantage?
You've seen the House under Speaker Boehner vote 40 times to defund or delay Obamacare. The commitment is there, but as Dana pointed out, and Matt and you, we have one House of one branch. We're doing everything that we can. I think if we want to do this, we need more pieces, as you put it. Let's get out in this next election, get us a Republican Senate, and start to take another piece off the board. The commitment and the will is there. We just need the ability to make it happen.
But if the Republicans implode over this, I mean, if they really get to the place where they start calling each other names like you're not a real Republican, you don't have any guts, you don't have any courage,
that's always going to happen.
Then but I know, but doesn't that affect our ability to win win, get the Senate back next year?
Not necessarily.
You don't think it does?
I think that being perceived as aggressive is what's going to hurt us, and not getting back the Senate. I mean, we are statistically, that could happen. I mean, you even have Nate Silver saying that it could happen, which I don't generally want to, but he's right on this.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. The bottom line is that if you look at there's been 3 polls released in just, the past 4 or 5 weeks, the majority of Americans, there's a Fox News poll, what is it, like 57 some odd % of Americans, still super unpopular. It's unworkable. They don't think that this is, they want to see it defeated in any way possible.
Other than that, it's perfectly fine. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Chairman Reince Priebus, who this week said, hey, you know what, if you're going to do these biopics of Hillary Clinton and give her puff pieces, we may not do debates on your network. A lot of people are proud of him. We'll talk about that. And is there a clash with the libertarian wing of the party? Gosh, we got a lot to go over. We'll be doing that right after this.